Hi everyone, it's Jess, aka Colouring Bumblebee, and I'm back today with another video for you. Today I am sharing with you all of my completed pages for the month of April 2025. As you can see, I've got a lot of books in front of me here. It was another very successful colouring month for me. So I'm going to move these to the side and start with my colouring stats for the month. Okay, so here is my 2025 colouring journal, and flipping to my April stats for the month, and I coloured a total of 36 pages this last month, 7 of which were colour by numbers, so that's 29 regular pages. I completed just one whip, and I did 14 individual buddy colours and 7 group buddy colours. I've just been loving doing buddy colours recently. They really help inspire me, and yeah, thank you to all of my buddies for this last month. I coloured in a total of 26 different books. I coloured in 9 previously untouched books, which makes my remaining untouched books 61 or 27.98%. And I think that is the first time it's ever been under 30% untouched, so really happy with that one. It's moving in the right direction. Then I purchased 3 books this last month, and I got 2 as Happy Mail from the lovely Nikki from Nikki Jane, so thank you to Nikki for gifting me some books. That will be in a upcoming haul, which I've already filmed and just needs to come out in the next week or so. And the total books I now have in my collection is 218, and the total pages I've coloured so far in 2025 is 135. I started just 2 whips, and one of them is already completed, and I will be showing you in this completed pages video. So let's move this to the side, get my other journal with all of my messy notes and pop that to the side, and start with the first book, which is this one. This is the Secret Invitation colouring book by who is it by? Natsuki, I think it is. I think it's on this. Yeah, Natsuki. So this is a book I got from Amazon Japan. It was previously untouched, and the page I have coloured to start with is this one, the first story title page, and I kind of forgot about how much I enjoyed this. I love how bright and vibrant the colours are. I used Inktense to base the entire page and really enjoyed the kind of texture it gave, and added a bit of pencil shading with my Artex pencils, just because I wanted to sort of deepen some of the shadows and bring out the highlights on the elements of the page. But really enjoyed how that went, and as this is a kind of storybook, I have saved my colours here so I can keep them consistent throughout the book. As you can see, this is the same door as we have here, so I'll keep the brown tones the same, the colour of the mouse the same as we go through this first story, because I think this would be a lovely book to colour front to back, as it does go through a cute little story. So really enjoyed that one, and was my first page coloured in this book. That is the Secret Invitation colouring book by Natsuki. Then I have Shooting Star. This is by Maria Trolle, and this also was a previously untouched book. And the page I coloured in this one was a buddy colour, and it was this one of the girl going fishing at the, kind of looks like the sea to me, or a lake, I'm not sure what. But I really had a lot of fun colouring this. I used polychromos pencils for the whole page, really had fun with the sunset background and sort of playing with the light reflections of the sun on the hills and the leaves and the tree and on her hat and on her clothes. I think it looks quite nice and effective. I decided to challenge myself a bit with that one. This was a buddy colour with the lovely Chrissy at Chrissy Wilcox on Instagram. I will show you her page here. She did a gorgeous job as well. We both went for that sunset sunrise look. Hers is more of a sunrise vibe to hers, but she did an absolutely gorgeous job. and thank you so much to Chrissy for buddy colouring with me on this page and helping me get started in this beautiful book. Can't wait to colour a few more pages in this one. Really enjoy Maria Trolle's work at the moment, and I've saved all my colours here so I can bring them across to this page to give them a kind of matching element. So that is Shooting Star by Maria Trolle. Then I have Oceans to Stars, an astrology colouring book by Lydia Fenwick. I adore this book. It goes through different zodiac signs, theming them to the ocean, to the stars and to the earth. And this was a buddy colour with Karu at My Starseed. And we did Aries, and I am so pleased with how this page turned out. I look at it now and I kind of can't believe that I coloured it. Do you guys ever get that? Where you finish a page and you're kind of surprised at yourself at how well it turned out. This is that sort of page for me. Because this is kind of a double-sided book with these really beautiful flowers and gemstones on the back side of the pages, I decided to base it with water-based brush markers. I used my Tombows. And I did that for the hair, the horns, the top, literally everything. And for the background, it was just a straight colour of the Tombow Dual Brush Pen. But I was inspired by the colours that are listed here, the red and the bright orange. So I went for her having bright red hair, and I challenged myself to do a dark skin tone. And I think it turned out really, really well. I used Prismacolors to shade over the top, and that gave it this really rich, vibrant effect. I used a lot of the super golden markers for details, like on all of the beading on her tops here, around the border. And yeah, really enjoy how this page looked. Oh, and on her nails here as well. I put a bit of super golden marker. And I coloured this page on the opposite side to match. It's meant to be honeysuckle and a diamond, but I didn't want to incorporate any different colours, so I decided to make this diamond a kind of orangey colour, and I think it works. It's kind of like it's reflecting. But I will move mine to the side and show you Karu's here. She went for similar colours because we were both inspired by the red and bright orange, but she did it in such a creative way. I loved the hair that she coloured. It looks absolutely gorgeous, and her skin, doing a red skin, is something that is really outside my comfort zone, and it was amazing to see her do it. So thank you to Karu for colouring that page with me. And now I've coloured this one, I kind of want to go through and do all of these, and using these colours as inspiration to really challenge myself, doing different skin tones, hair colours. These portraits are just beautiful, and I'm really looking forward to getting some more pages done in this book. That is Oceans to Stars by Lydia Fenwick. Then I have 50 Zodiac themed miniatures by Kamina Angelkova. This was a new book to me this last month, and I decided to start this as a colour along. So I've been choosing, we're going through in order, doing the Zodiac animals in order, as well as the Chibi Chinese Zodiac animals in order. And then the next year we'll do the Chibi Zodiacs signs, and then we'll do the regular Chinese animals. It's kind of hard to explain, but it makes sense when you have the book. And the first one I did was Aries, and I've decided for this book that I'm going to be using these colour palettes, which I found online. I made this document, but these colour palettes I found on this, I think it's a quilting website, and I just thought they were beautiful and would match really nicely with each of these star sign images. I could picture them being coloured like that. So I created this document where I can swatch my alcohol markers next to them and create these fun different colour palettes for theme to each of the star signs. And when I was colouring this, I was unsure about the placement of the colours. It's quite a bold colour scheme that I don't usually do. So I took a picture of the blank page with my iPad and put it into Procreate, took the colours from the colour palette and sort of mapped them out, changed some bits around and came up with this. Really liked how it looked, so went for this. I used Ohuhu alcohol markers for the entire page and added some glitter gel pen for the border and for the title of Aries, and also on its eyes and on the stars here. And I think I will use glitter gel pens for the border and text on all of these pages, just to give that extra sparkle and shine. I have filmed this as a speed colour to go up as a short, and I didn't get round to finishing editing it before the Aries season had finished, so I'll try and get that up soon. And then I will be moving on to Taurus for the next month. But that wasn't the only page I coloured in here. I also coloured the first Chibi zodiac sign, which is the Chibi Rat. I was a bit unsure of this page when I first saw it. I could see it coloured in a bunch of different ways. I saw yellow and peach, I saw blue and purple, pinks, literally a whole bunch of colour schemes. But I decided to go for yellow and this kind of peachy apricot colour. And it took me a while. Coloured all the flowers and her dress, and it was all looking good. And then I was like, how do I colour the girl? And I wasn't sure whether to use the same colour as I did for the ears and the tail. But then I thought, you know what, these are chibi themed girls. They're kind of wearing these costumes almost. So I thought I'll do her as a normal skin tone, and then the ears are sort of like, I don't know, like a headband that she's wearing. And I think that turned out quite effectively. I love how this page turned out. It's probably one of my favourite pages I've ever coloured of Chameleon Angel Covers. I just love how bright and spring-like these colours are. Her hair turned out really cute. The background is a really nice blend of the alcohol markers. Used Ohuhus for this one as well, and the glitter gel pen for the border and the text. And I'm looking forward to getting the next one, Chibi Ox, done. So those were the two pages I coloured in 50 Zodiac Themed Miniatures colouring book by Chameleon Angel Cover. Next, I've got 50 Mythical Miniatures, and you have been seeing this a lot on my channel recently. I have been really enjoying colouring in this, along with Melissa from Winter 89 Colours. She's been doing this as a project book for 2025 called #Project Mythical Minis, where she picks 4 pages a month and you colour those in. I will just flip from the back. I won't be showing these in the order I coloured them in, probably not. Just whichever comes first. So Gargoyle I did as a catch-up from the previous month. This was one of March's pages and I didn't get around to finishing it, so I coloured it this month because one of the other pages that was picked for April I had already coloured, and it was the Necomata. So I had an extra page. So I did the Gargoyle. I was really unsure about how I wanted to colour this, which is why I didn't do it in March. But I started with the black background and this sort of dark post here. Then I thought purple would be fun. So I went for different tones of purples. Used my alcohol markers as I usually do for these pages. Any bits of silver signo in the background for these stars and around the moon there. Yeah, he turned out really cute, the Gargoyle. And then what else did I do this last month? I did the Goblin. This one I found quite tricky when I first started it because there's a lot of greens. You've got the clovers, you've got the grass, you've got the Goblin himself. So trying to keep those tones different but still cohesive. So I went for a nice light green for him. He's kind of giving Baby Yoda vibes with the brown as well. And I thought a pop of this kind of periwinkle blue would look really nice. And then just a light brown to tie in the top with the stump here. I think he is super cute. Really love how he turned out, and decided against putting a background in. Thought he looked finished enough by himself. Again, used Ohuhu markers for that one. And what else did I do? I did the Mandrake. I decided to do something different for myself for this page and use a white outline for the flowers. It's not my favourite. I think I preferred how it looked without the white outlines, but it's good to experiment, try new things, and it doesn't look terrible. I just, for my style and how I like my pages to look, I didn't like how this effect turned out, especially these ones up here. They look really messy. I wanted them to look like white flowers, but I find that really challenging. Still need to work on making white flowers look actually white. But I finished this page and thought it needed a background. I tend to do a lot of blue backgrounds, so I thought I'll do something different and do a nice light pink. And I think that tied quite nicely with the strawberries and the strawberry flower here. But yeah, turned out pretty cute, the Mandrake. And then I did the Pegasus page. Love this one. I knew when I saw it I had to colour it like Pegasus from Hercules, with the white fur, the white coat with the blue tail and wings and feathers. I just love it. And I actually did this as a buddy colour with Zoe from Zoe's Cozy Colouring. She was starting to colour it and I was like, I'm going to join you. And so we coloured it together. I used Ohuhu alcohol markers for this and added a lot of glitter gel pen. So I added blue around the mane to make it nice and sparkly. And then I used a silver around the wings to make them pop. And I used the Spectrum Noir clear glitter pen on the wings of these little butterfly guys up here. And yeah, really like how this turned out. I'll move mine across and show you Zoe's beautiful page here. Love the colours that she used and how different they look from each other. So that was a lovely page. And the last one I coloured in this book for this month. Hopefully getting the next 4 done very soon. That is 50 Mythical Miniatures by Chameleon Angel Cova. And keeping with Chameleon Angel Cova, I've got 50 Woodland Miniatures. This is a project book with Mindy from Colouring Cats Among Orchids and Jan at Aloha Lady. And the page we coloured was this one, as it was Mindy's birthday in April, so happy birthday to Mindy. And we picked this one as a nice party page. I was very unsure about what to do for this page. I wasn't sure on the colours, and I thought, you know what, let's go spring, let's go kind of Eastery with it, with these nice pastel colours in the bunting and on the hats and on this cake. And then when it came to these berries, I wasn't sure if I was going to do them like red currants, like I've done them, or like blackberries, not blackberries, what are they called? Black currants. So I wasn't sure whether to do them blue or red. Decided to go for red because it ties in nicely with the mushrooms down here. And these chipmunks turned out really, really cute. Really enjoyed colouring this page, and it turned out better than I thought it might. Because I was a bit lost at one point of the colours and then just went for it and it turned out nicely. So I'll move mine across and show you Mindy's and Jan's beautiful pages here. Thank you so much for colouring in this book with me. Looking forward to the next one. It's great seeing this book slowly fill up. And the next page we're doing is the one with the badgers in the garden. If I can find it. Here it is. This is the one we're doing. I think this page is super cute. So that is 50 Woodland Miniatures by Chameleon Angel Cova. Then I did a couple in the Cute and Cozy colouring book series of books. This was for Zoe at Zoe's Cozy Colourings prompts for the Cute and Cozy books. She runs a Facebook group. And the first one I did was this one. This was actually a catch-up for me for last month. The prompt was bicycle. And I started doing this picturing it with a sunset background. But I started with the grass and the flowers and the bike and the balloon. And it was all oranges and yellows. I just liked how they were looking. And I thought, if I do a sunset background, it's going to look a bit samey. So I thought I would do a nice contrast with a nice blue gradient sky. So really like how that turned out. Used Ohuhu alcohol markers for that one. And then the other one I did was this one at the front here. This kind of title page with all of the characters. I have saved their colour combos down here so I can keep them throughout the book. Although I might change this cat because he looks a bit odd. I wanted it to look like a ginger cat, but now it looks a bit sunburnt. I think it looks better on camera, but yeah. So this was for the prompt Best Friends. I thought, what better page than this one with all 5 of them together. Yeah, really enjoyed that one. Again, Ohuhu alcohol markers. So That was Fuzzy Friends. This is by Vivi Tinter. Yes, Vivi Tinter. It's Fuzzy Friends. And then I did a page in Fuzzy Hygge, and this one was for the prompt Easter, and I actually coloured it on Easter Sunday. I started colouring this with no kind of plan of action, just thought I wanted it to be rainbow with kind of pastel colours, and it was a lot of fun. Really enjoyed just placing the colours across the page, making it nice and cute. Perfect little Easter page. Didn't take me long at all, about an hour. Again, Ohuhu alcohol markers, and that was it for this page. So that is Fuzzy Hygge by Vivi Tinter. Moving back to some pencil colouring, and I have Sargon. This is my full book colour along that I am hosting for my YouTube members, those at the Queen Bumblebee tier. I have been loving colouring in this. I have started with the Puss in Boots page, and the first one that you all voted on was this one, the Flower Fairies page. And when I first saw this, I had the idea of Periwinkle and Peach. So that is what I did. Plus I brought in a bit of lilac, just because I thought that would look nice. I used Artex pencils for this page. They worked really well on this paper. I think they blended out very nicely. I just loved the soft kind of pastel tones to it. I was debating whether or not to do a background, but decided that I liked it enough as it was and didn't want to introduce any more colours to the page. I wanted your focus to really be on these flowers and the fairies themselves. I added a bit of glitter gel pen to the centres of the flowers here, and Spectrum Noir clear glitter pen on their wings. I doubt you'll be able to see it, but I can, and it's really pretty. But I am hoping to get this page done very soon, the opposite page of it, using some of the same colours that I've got listed here. And someone recently pointed out, I thought it was a cherry to start with, but someone said because of the leaves that it's actually an apple, and I thought, you know what, I can make it a pink lady now to kind of match with that page a little bit better. So that was the page I did this month from Sargon by Maria Cholle. Then I have Matchick Mouse, a Rainy Day Colouring Book by Morgan O'Brien. And this was a buddy colour with Nikki from Knick Knack Colours. And the page we did was this cute little ducky page, going for a swim down the river. And I started colouring this, and I knew I wanted it to be bright and spring-like and really cute colours. I based with alcohol markers, shaded over the top with Prismacolor pencils. And then I remembered that this is a rainy day book and that there were like drops of rain. But I thought, you know what, this is when the rain has just started. It's a nice sunny day. The sky is a little bit grey, but it's still quite bright and sunny. The rain hasn't quite trickled down to the rest of these guys, so they're blissfully swimming along the river, unaware that the rain is about to fall on them. But I really, really love how this turned out. Super bright and happy, and was the first page I coloured in here since autumn, which was my first page, so it was great to get another one done in here. I'll move mine across and show you Nikki's here. I love how she did a little brown duckling and I did a little yellow one. Always fun to see how different our pages are from each other. So thank you so much to Nikki for colouring this page with me. That is Matchick Mouse, a Rainy Day Colouring Book by Morgan O'Brien. Next up, I've got Dark Fairy Tales by Kirby Rosanes. This book was released in March, right at the end of March for us here in the UK, and I set up a buddy colour with this before my book even arrived. I promised to Elizabeth on Instagram that we would do a page in this together, and when it arrived and I picked a page, I also had Cindy reach out to me at Cindy Peel on Instagram, and we did it as a little group. So the page we did was actually the first page here, the Rapunzel page. And this I went through some struggles with, particularly on the background. So I used Inktense pencils for the background, activated it with water to start with, and then it was looking really streaky, really bad. Hated how it was looking. So I did another layer. This time I activated it with alcohol marker, and on this left side it came out really shiny. I think I went over it too many times with the clear alcohol marker. So I did another few layers and layers and layers and layers until finally it got to a point where I was like, I can leave it like that. I wanted to have this really dark, stormy night sky with this glow from the centre of the purple from the tower. I thought that would look really nice, and I think in the end I am happy with how this turned out. I then used Prismacolor pencils for the rest of the page. I've noted down my colours here so I can bring the colours across to this page, as it is the Prince and the Witch falling down amongst the hair and the thorns. And luckily there's less background here to worry about, and I have learned from my mistakes on this one, so it should be a lot easier for me to do. But I really loved colouring this. I especially loved colouring the hair. I thought that turned out really well. Her dress was really cute, and I decided to keep the Prince and the Witch very neutral in tone because I didn't want them to stand out on this page. So I kept them with this browny black colour scheme. Yeah, really loved this. Can't wait to get some more pages coloured in here. I'll move around across and show you Elizabeth and Cindy's beautiful pages here. They all look so different from each other, each equally beautiful. So thank you to both of you for buddy colouring with me in this lovely book. I do have a page that I am going to be colouring for May, but I will be showing that in my plans video. So that is Dark Fairy Tales by Kirby Rosanas. Then I've got 50 Desserts Themed Miniatures by Camilla Angel Cova, and this was a whip. Since probably last year, in around the springtime, I started this page. I did a base of alcohol markers. I believe I used the Touch Art alcohol markers, which aren't my favourite, but I'm slowly using them up because they make the page quite wrinkled. I think they've got a high water level in them compared to alcohol. But this year I was like, right, I don't feel like colouring much. Let's get this out, get it done. One of Yolanda at Colouring Biker Mama's prompts for the month of April, she does a Camilla Angel Cova scavenger hunt, was Bunny, so I thought this is the month that I get this done. So I shaded over the top of the pre-existing marker base with my Ohuhu alcohol markers, and I love how it turned out. Really simple page. Probably took me like 20 minutes to finish off, as it was all based. I just needed to do the shading. So yeah, definitely love how that turned out. From 50 Desserts Themed Miniatures by Camilla Angel Cova. And then I've got Matchick Mouse, a big adventure colouring book. This is a project book with Jo from Geordie Colours, Amy from Colouring with Amy, Nikki from Knick Knack Colours, and just this month, new to the group, is Zoe from Zoe's Cozy Colouring. So we choose a page in this each month. We rotate round who chooses the page, and I believe this was Nikki's choice, but we did the donkey ride page, and I had this based for the first couple of weeks and I just wasn't feeling particularly inspired by it. I based with Ohuhu alcohol markers and shaded over the top with Prismacolor pencils, but when I added that Prismacolor pencil layer over the top, it really brought the page together. They always do, they work wonders, pencils, for shading and bring to life your pages which you previously weren't enjoying so much. I decided to go for quite a limited palette, focusing on the blues and yellows for the donkey and Matchick Mouse, a little bit of green and this nice reddish tone, browny yellowy colour for the mountains, kind of looking like the Grand Canyon almost. Really like the sort of deserty vibe of it. So I will move mine across and show you everyone's beautiful pages over here. It's getting a struggle to fit us all in, but really happy to have Zoe join us. And the next page we are colouring is right at the front of the book, and it is this cute kiwi page. So looking forward to get that one done. That is Matchick Mouse, a Big Adventure by Morgan O'Brien. Another one of my project books. This is Colouring Heaven Pocket Fairy Tales illustrated by Selena Fennick. And this is a project book with Colouring with Lil on Instagram and YouTube. If you haven't checked out our YouTube, it will of course be linked below. And we did the Goldilocks page. I love this page. I love how bright it is. I love the pinks. I love the bright golden hair. And I love the curtains, which I actually did with washi tape. And let me tell you, cutting around all of these curls of her hair was a nightmare. But I'm so happy with how it turned out. I added a bit of shading with my pencils over the top of the washi tape just to give it a bit of definition. I based with alcohol markers, as I usually do, and shaded with Prismacolor pencils on the top. And I just thought she turned out absolutely adorable. Move mine across and show you Lil's beautiful page here. Love the colours she used, really different from mine, so thank you for colouring in this book with me as always. And the next page we are doing, As It Is May, give you 2 guesses what we're doing. It is the Little Mermaid page, of course, and I've got a bit of bleed through to cover up, but I'm sure that shouldn't be a problem if I'm going to make her hair a nice bright red, which will cover this orangey tone pretty well. So that is Pocket Fairy Tales by Selena Fenwick. Then I have the Kauawaii Tarot colouring book. This is by Lulu Mayo, one of my books to focus on for this year. I've been really enjoying colouring in this, and I did a call out to see if anyone wanted to do buddy colour with me for a couple of pages. And this was the first set of ones I did. This was a buddy colour with Ali at AliJ14 on Instagram. And initially we planned to colour this one. I was like, which one did we plan to colour? The Ace of Swords. I said, pick which one you'd like between the two, and she picked this one. And as I started colouring it, I knew that I wanted to bring the colours across from this page to these two and make them nice and matchy. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to colour them both at the same time. She finished hers first, I coloured them both together, finished them on the same day, and then she came back a couple of days later and finished this one. So we decided to do both the pages together. I used the Artex pencils on this page and the Gansai Tambi Starry colours in the gold colour around the border, like I do for all of the pages in this book to make it nice and cohesive. Really like the bold colours of this. I was a bit unsure about making these mountains yellow, but I just went for it, and yeah, it looks pretty cute. And I like how I brought in some blue tones on this page to differentiate them a little bit from the Three of Swords, which I did the previous month. So let me move mine to the side and show you Ali's pages here. She did a fantastic job. I love the colours she used for the mountains. Thought that was beautiful. So thank you, Ali, for colouring both of those pages with me. And I did another buddy colour, which I finished literally on the last day of the month. And it was this one, the Seven of Swords. I actually coloured this in one evening. I loved colouring it so much. I love the bright spring colour palette I went for, the yellow, pink, orange, purples, just some of my favourite colours. I used the Black Widow's pencils for this, and the Gansai Tambi Starry colours for the border. Oh, and this was a buddy colour with the lovely Jana from Colour and Create with Jana. I hope I said your name right there, but she did an amazing job. In fact, I'll move mine across and show you hers here. She used such bold, bright colours. She did hers pretty soon after we scheduled the buddy colour actually, and I was slacking behind, but I got it done eventually. Love how hers turned out, and they are very different vibes from each other. But yeah, this might be one of my favourite pages from the month, possibly one of my favourite pages I've coloured in this book as well. But I am starting to fill it up, especially these Minor Arcana cards, which I've been doing all as buddy colours. I've now done 12 of them out of 56, so still quite a ways to go, but it was great to especially have a full double page finished. I haven't done that yet, so it was nice to get both of those done. Yeah, I'm sure I will find a couple more and do another call out for any buddy colours for the upcoming month of May to go with my Lulu Mayo scavenger hunt prompts. Which reminds me, I did colour those for the Lulu Mayo scavenger hunt. So I did this page for bunnies, and I did this page for clouds. Yes, that's right. And I did the Seven of Swords for the prompt basket. And there was one more, chicken. Didn't get that one done this month. But 3 out of 4 is pretty good for me. So that is the Kauawaii Tarot colouring book by Lulu Mayo. Next up, I've got the Woodland watercolour colouring book by Claire Therese Gray. This is a gorgeous book on thick, actual, proper watercolour paper. And I did this one, the Woodland Flowers page, and this was a buddy colour with the lovely Veronica at VeronicaDunn66 on Instagram. She offered to do this page with me, and I'm so glad she did, because this book was randomised for me and I so would have just skipped over it and just avoided it for another month, but she motivated me to get it done. It was really fun doing these flowers and playing with the watercolours. I think I got quite a nice depth in the leaves here and playing with the different colours of flowers. I think I need to get myself a white watercolour though, because I found like I was missing that, and to lighten it I was just adding loads of water, but it didn't quite give the same effect that I was looking for. So I might try and get that to supplement my watercolour set. And for the background, I decided to really challenge myself and actually do one. I was going to keep it just white, so I decided to do this blue wash of colour that was splotchy and patchy on purpose to give that kind of depth and variation. And it was great practice for me, and I really enjoyed how it turned out. The only bit that makes me sad is up here on the snake's head. What's that? Frillery? What is that letter meant to be? I'm not sure. But here I accidentally pressed my hand in it and it transferred over onto the background and on the leaves there. But that's okay. Mistakes happen. We're going to learn from them. But this has got me excited to do one of the full page illustrations now. I liked how I had my reference photos for this, and I could just not think about the colours. They were already there, decided for me. But now I've got the confidence that I can do some more. So let me move mine across and show you Veronica's lovely page here. I love how soft hers looks. I think she used watercolour pencils for hers, because there are such tiny little details on this. So thank you, Veronica, for helping me get started in this wonderful book, Woodland Watercolour by Claire Therese Gray. Then I've got another one of my project books. This is Lost and Found by RJ Hampson, and this is a project book with Dana at DabblerD on Instagram. I picked the page for this month and we did Freedom Found. I knew that I wanted a silver cage and to have some pinks. So I started with the silver cage, coloured these pink lotus flowers, really loved how they turned out, and then I left this page for a couple of weeks before I plucked up the courage to actually do her dress and the bird here. And I decided to keep a very limited colour palette of just pinks and the pop of green for the leaves. Really enjoyed how this turned out. I used polychromos for the whole page and a bit of silver signo for the dots in the background there. I like how with these black background ones, I don't have to worry about a background because it's kind of there for me. Let me show you the original image. Yeah, see, we haven't got this swirl in the background, so you kind of got to figure it out for yourself or leave it white, which I probably would do. But this kind of gives you just that little bit of something to play with. So really enjoyed colouring that, and I love how it turned out. I will show you Dana's lovely page here. I loved the bright red cage that she did. Thought that turned out really well and was a lovely pop of colour. And the page we are doing next for May was Dana's choice, and we are doing the Lost Lighthouse. Love this page. One of my favourites in the book. Not sure if I want to go for a traditional red or a blue. I will see when I get to it. But that is Lost and Found by RJ Hampson. Then I have Lunar Colouring by Stratton Peterson, and I finally got a page finished in this book. I have had this since it was released, and something was stopping me from colouring it. Then it got randomised, and I finally just went for it. And the page I did was the Glimmering Stone. I really wanted to colour this because it was nice and springy with the daffodil flowers and the rainbow. I coloured the daffodils and the leaves and the rainbow pretty early on in the month. I did it pretty quickly, and then I felt so scared to do the stone and all the little gems around it. And so, like I did with quite a few pages this month, I left it for a couple of weeks, came back to it towards the end and just went for it. I decided I wanted the glimmering stone. I looked it up online and it's kind of like an opal where it's got a bunch of different colours in it. But I really wanted to have this rainbowy effect. So I got out my polychromos pencils, which is what I used on this page. And I was lightly shading on the different segments of this stone. And I didn't like how it looked. So I decided to rub it out. But I actually liked how it looked when I erased it. So I left it like that and added the white lines of the stone and emphasised the highlights. And I love this kind of muted effect it has. It really makes it kind of shine on the page, I think. And then for the little ones, I decided to do the different bright rainbow colours from the rainbow itself to really bring that all together and create some cohesion throughout the page. But yeah, absolutely loved colouring this. And now I'm really looking forward to doing the next one. And Stratton Peterson has a new book coming out soon, which I will be receiving. It's called The Language of Flowers. Sounds amazing. Can't wait to get my hands on it. But this definitely gets me excited for it. But that is the page and the first page I coloured from Lunar Colouring by Stratton Peterson. The last project book I have to show you for this month is Around the World by R.J. Hampson. This is with Catherine at Cath Colours Pages. And we did this one, Venice. I knew when I first saw this page that I wanted a sunset background and wasn't sure about everything else. I based it with Ohuhu alcohol markers. You can see how like flat the colours are, obviously, and how much depth I put in with the pencils. Really enjoyed shading on this page and adding bits of yellow to the water and this sunset reflection on it, adding white paint pen around it to make it look nice and ripply. Now I'm looking at it, I wish the background was a little bit softer in tone. I kind of struggle with that for backgrounds where I want a nice smooth blend of pencils. But to get a smooth blend of pencils, you've got to press quite hard to kind of blend them together, I find. So trying to get that balance of light but blended, I do struggle with, but I like the pop of colour, it works, and I really like how this page turned out. But let me move mine aside and show you Catherine's here. She also went for that sunset vibe. I think hers turned out perfectly. I love how it reflects off the water especially. She used such perfect colours for this page. But the next one we are moving on to Promenade. So not sure what colours I'm going to use for this one yet, but I'm sure I will figure it out as the month goes on. So that is R.J. Hampson's Around the World. Next I've got 30 Spellbound Cloudy Scenes colouring book by Camila Angelkova. This is a full book colour along for Zoe at Zoe's Cozy Colouring, her membership on YouTube. She picks a page each month and does a colour along for it. And I like to colour at the same time as her. It's like we're colouring together in the same room, even though we're not. But I like picking my own colours for it, and I've been using a pastel colour palette book that I really enjoy. And the page for April was aptly the April Showers page. And let me grab, it's just next to me here, the Pastel Reverie colour palette book and show you the one that I used. I used the Macaron Biscuits page, so you can see how I incorporated the colours there. I matched them with the Ohuhu alcohol markers, and it worked out pretty perfectly that each of the colours had a spot on the rainbow. It left out purple, so purple was the clouds. Sorry if you can hear all that lawnmower going on behind me. It is a warm day here in the UK and I've got my windows cracked open. But I coloured and shaded with alcohol markers, and I just went round the outlines of the raindrops, the wings of the little alien guys with glitter gel pens in matching colours, and I did the Spectrum Noir clear glitter pen on their wings all over. Really, really love how that turned out, and I'm looking forward to the next page that got picked. It's actually my favourite one in the whole book. Where is it? This one, the little kitty butterflies. I think they're so cute. So looking forward to getting that one done for May in 30 Spellbound Cloudy Scenes by Camellia Angelkova. Almost there. We've got Fantasy Animals Pocket book by illustrations by Hannah Carlson. And this was a new book to me a few months ago. And I did this as a buddy colour with Chrissy at Chrissy Wilcox. And we did the Strawberry Bunny page. I knew when I saw it that I wanted to have a nice high contrast between the strawberries and the bunny. So I wanted the bunny to be white. I used alcohol markers to base, didn't bother basing the bunny, but for everything else I based with alcohol markers and shaded over the top with Prismacolor pencils. I just find it's a nice combination in these Colouring Heaven books. They tend to work pretty well together. Unfortunately, I did get a bit of the red pencil on the bunny itself, but that's okay. And then for the background, I wanted to try Inktense. So I did that, activated with a clear, colourless alcohol marker blend pen. And it turned out really well. Didn't wrinkle the paper at all. Didn't even... It's shadowed through, but it hasn't bled through. I thought it turned out really well. And I added a bit of gold signo on the seeds of the strawberries and for some dots in the background. They were already there and I added a few more. Yeah, I like the simplicity of this page and looking forward to getting some more done in this book. But here is Chrissy's beautiful page. I love how her background turned out. It looks so magical and the flowers turned out really well as well. So thank you for getting me started in this adorable little book, Colouring Heaven Pocket Fantasy Animals by Hannah Carlson. And the last quote-unquote proper colouring page I have to show you is in Colouring Heaven Collection. This was actually finished on the 1st of May, so yesterday for me. And it was, just grabbing my notes up here, a buddy colour with Shannon at ShannonL1981 on Instagram. And we did the April Shells page, so which is why I wanted to show it in this video rather than saving it for May. I found this really cute colour palette online which had these 5 colours in it, and I found some matching alcohol markers and just went to town having fun spreading the colours out throughout the page. I used the Ohuhu alcohol markers for it. In fact, I've got the colour palette saved here so I can use it for these minis. I think that will look sweet having them match as well. But then I shaded over the top with a combination of Artex and the Brute Funa Macaron pencils, just because these were quite hard colours to find a matching pencil to shade over the top with. Quite unique colours, but I think I did an okay job. I found the shading of this actually really boring, but I pushed through, got it done, and thanks to Shannon for being my buddy and inspiring me to get this done. I'll move mine across and show you Shannon's wonderful page here. She used such bright, bold, fun colours. Has almost that neon kind of look to it. Really fun, super different from mine. It's always fun to see very different pages when they're completed. So that is the Tiny Ear Colouring Heaven collection, designed by Agotapop. Then, as I often do, the last few books I have to show you are my colour by numbers. I haven't flagged the pages this month. So the first one I did was Donald Duck here. I had a week in April where I wasn't feeling my best, and this was the first page I came back to. And what a page it was, because I coloured these red bows first and they smudged all over the page. You can see bits here, bit there, all up here, all in the corners. Just every time I moved my hand across the page it would transfer the red over, but it is done. Donald Duck's my favourite classic Mickey character. The outlining is not my best because I wasn't feeling my best at that point. I just wanted it done. But it was great to get back into this book. I hadn't coloured in it for quite some time. And then last week I coloured another page. It is here, literally the one before. I did Mike Wazowski, and I tried my best to match the colours for the background, especially from the Sully page, which I did just over a year ago in March of last year. And for the background, I actually used the Ohuhu Dual Brush water-based markers, whereas I tend to use Crayola Super Tips now. But those were the ones I had at the time when I started this one. It was tricky to match. The darker tones I got pretty spot on, but these lighter tones, they're not exact. But that's fine. We move on. He turned out really fun, and I especially love the bright pinks and teals for the border. So that was a couple done in vitro. Then I got this one. This is a relatively new colour by number, the Petit Princesses. And I did Pocahontas, who is the cover page. I really loved colouring this. I love the colour of the background, the peachy colour. Thought it turned out really well. Her skin tone's a little bit dark, but I always struggle with finding the matching correct tones for the skin tones. I just do my best. I have the Crayola Colours of the World markers, but they're still quite limited for skin tones, even though they shouldn't be. Like, they have just some bright pinks in there, which isn't right. You need some more peachy tones. But that's by the by. I really enjoyed doing the leaves on this page especially, and as I said, the background colour is such a pretty peachy colour. So that was my first one done in Petit Princesses. Then I did one in Colour by Number Animals. I showed this off in my Amazon print collection and realised that I hadn't coloured in it since last year. Was it May? It was June last year. This was the last page I did. And so I coloured the Hummingbird page. And I used the Touch Art Alcott markers for this because I'm trying to use them up. And some of them were running out, some of them had dried up. So I'm definitely getting my use out of them in this book. But it was great to get another one of these done. They're really relaxing. Take longer than you think. There's a lot of spaces and a lot of colours in these pages, but they turn out really effective. And I'm just working through an order, so the giraffe will be next. That is Colour by Number Animals by Jade Summer. Then I did one in Family, Colour by Number, and this was one my mum picked out. Where is it? Here it is. It is this one of Anna and Elsa sleeping, which does match this one that I did in February. It uses the same sort of background colours, and I went back and tried to match the tones as best I could between the two pages. Her mum's hair is very different, but it matched the colours down at the bottom of the page better. Yeah, this uses a lot of dark colours, which isn't often my favourite, but good to get that one done in Family. And then the final book I have to show you is the Large Square Disney Portraits Colour by Number. And I recently got the Guangna acrylic brush markers this last month, so I thought I would jump in and do some pages in this one. So I did Cusco first, as I'm just going through an order in this book. I might jump around after this. But yeah, used the brush markers on him. Turned out really nice. I still prefer using black acrylic markers for outlines and water-based brush markers for the rest. I just find it more relaxing for me. I've got to be a lot more careful with my shapes on this one. Even though I can go over the top with another layer of the acrylic paint pen, it's not the same. I just prefer the process of the other one, and that's my preference. But for these really flat, bold illustrations that we have in this book, with the more lineless effect, I think the paint pens are a nice different medium to use. So I did Cusco, and in that same evening I did the dwarfs portraits. Really love how they turned out with their kind of pastel-y colours. The background was really hard to colour, trying to make sure I didn't, coloured around the lines, keeping it smooth. It was tricky, but it turned out okay. And the only other thing I did was I went back to Abu. As you can see from the back here, I used some really bad colour choices on that page. So I just went over the bits that I really didn't like and made it look a little bit nicer, in my opinion. So there we go. That is everything from April. Everything that I coloured, plus one page from May. But So let me know in the comments below, what was your favourite page I did in this last month? There's quite a few I liked this last month, but I think my favourite has to be the one I did from Luna Colouring, the Glimmering Stone page, just because it really challenged me, got me outside my comfort zone with this rainbow stone, and the process was really enjoyable as well. So that's my personal favourite. I'd love to hear what yours was. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye everyone.